125% from 2006. What's going on in America, friend? What's happening in this great nation? Listen to this. 3.7 million borrowers are at least 90 days late on payments, many of which are already in foreclosure. This is in America, friend. You say, Pastor, you never preach like this. You never just give us this kind of stuff Sunday morning. You just want to hear the Word of God, friend. I want to share with you what's happening in America, where we tie in with Israel, and I believe what's just around the corner for the Church of the Living God. Last month, 220,000 foreclosure filings. This is in America, friend. That's a lot. The Labor Department said last week, just 1 week ago, there were 434,000 people, not overseas, not Japan, not China, 434,000 people in America that applied for their very first week of unemployment. You may not like that job that you're employed with right now, but friend, you ought to thank God you've got a job today. 434,000 applied for their very first week of unemployment last week. Friend, America is in trouble. This nation is in trouble. What are we going to do? The world is in a mess. CNN Money said that the number of foreclosure filings issued in April plunged 34% from a year ago. That's 7 straight months in a row of declines. We say, well, that's good news. Friend, that is good news, but friend, it is not bottomed out. Will the seeming good news continue? That Rich Sharga of Realty Track said he does not believe that it was. Even with that drop, 220,000 foreclosure filings during the month, including notices of default, scheduled auctions, bank repossessions. 3.7 million borrowers, I said earlier, are 90 days or longer late on their payments. Friend, what is happening in America? We're in trouble. How many would acknowledge we're in trouble? Banks can't move inventory fast enough, have prices high enough that they're really excited about foreclosing on any more homes. I mean, they're having trouble getting rid of the houses they've already foreclosed on. You can go down just about any street in about any neighborhood, and you can find homes that have been foreclosed on. Banks are doing more to try to keep their borrowers in, but friend, the housing market is in a mess in America. Home prices, however, continue to erode. That's a problem because it really pushes more borrowers underwater, with home loans now worth more than the value of their houses. In other words, now, the majority of people are what we call upside down with their loans. In other words, they owe more on their house than what their house is worth. And it's happening all across America. What are we going to do? I started sharing some of the stuff with Joyce. She said, Pastor, she said, honey, she said, don't share all that stuff. She said, you need to give people hope. Friend, I believe there is hope. I believe there is hope. But I want you to realize we are in a mess in America. For too long, the church just says, man, close our ears if we don't want to hear it. We're fighting our little world. Friend, these are people we work with, people we hang out with, people we associate with. They're in dire straits. We, the church, have to learn that we've got to reach out and minister to them. Home prices are falling so fast that Humphrey's changes 2011 outlook forecasting from a forecast now from a 7% decline to a 9% decline this year. Earlier they had talked about going from 5% decline to 7%. Now they've raised it to 9%. In other words, what that really means in modern terms is if your house is worth $100,000, this year it's going to be worth 9% would be worth $91,000. You're losing $9,000 right off the top of a $100,000 home. Friend, America is in a mess. 1 out of every 200 homes, they say, are going to be foreclosed upon in the days that lie ahead. Every 3 months, 250,000 new families enter into foreclosure. It's by the Mortgage Bankers Association. How many know that's a lot of people? 250,000 families in America are going to enter into foreclosure every 3 months. Many of these, again, people we work for. What are we going to do to reach out? What's happening in America? Oh, we could go on and on and on about the housing market. I just want to try to move quickly through this. And then we look at this. One child in every classroom in America is at risk of losing his or her home because the parents are unable to make their mortgage payments. Let's go past the global economic meltdown. Let's go past the foreclosures, the mortgage market. Let's look at unemployment rates. The unemployment rate in America seems to be skyrocketing. The unemployment rate rose from 8.8 in March to 9% in May. Continues to grow on a daily basis. Just last week, second week of May, the Labor Department says that there were 434,000 people. That's a large number of people. 434,000 people that applied for their first week of unemployment. Think of that, my friend. In Hillsdale County, where we live today, in January 2011, the unemployment rate was 13.4%, even higher than our national average. It's come down a little. We thank God for that. Last month, it was 11.8% unemployment rate right here in Hillsdale County. The unemployment rate, it just continues and continues. In America, 13.7 million people without work. 13.7 million people that are without work right now. Oh, friend, when we think of this, the number of people that have been unemployed for less than 5 weeks is 242,000 people. They said there are 989,000 discouraged workers in April. Now, when I say discouraged workers, some of you say, well, man, I'm discouraged with my job. I'm not talking about that kind of discouraged workers. But the Labor Department said 989,000 discouraged workers in April. What is a discouraged worker? They're people who are currently not looking for work because they simply believe there are no jobs available for them. So they're not even looking for work. 989,000. Lord, help us. We need some divine intervention here, don't we? Let's look at this. What about the national debt? You've heard a lot about that in the news. The national debt is mounting. Anybody want to guess what our national debt is as of last week? Look at this. That's a big number, isn't it? $14,371,341,691,712. In light of that, our church mortgage doesn't look too bad, does it? Over $14 trillion is our national debt. Friend, how will it ever be paid off? It won't. There's no way that we can pay that off. Let me give you a modern-day illustration. If you started your own business at the birth of Christ, that's a few years ago, but if you started your own business at the birth of Christ, you stayed open for 365 days a year, you lost $1 million every day until today, it would take you another 70 years to lose $1 trillion. And this nation is $14 trillion in debt. God, help us in America. I believe it's still the greatest nation to live in the whole wide world. And I thank God that we live in America. And I thank God for the American flag. But friend, we have got to have God come by in America once again. We're in desperate condition. We're in desperate straits in America. This nation that we love so much. I am so thankful. I am so thankful that the government is not our source. The government's not our source. $14 trillion in debt. Friend, the government can't bail you out. The government's not our source. America's broke. There's no way for us to pay our national bills, to be paid under the current levels of taxation and promised benefits. The newly printed money, they just keep printing more and more money off. You know, well, let's print some more money off. But friend, it makes our money we have worth less and less all the time. Let me share something with you. July of 1944. Some of you were alive at that point. 44 allied nations held the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference in New Hampshire. They wanted to establish the first international financial system. They ruled that every country would adopt a monetary policy that maintained the exchange rate of its currency within a fixed value plus or minus 1% in terms of the gold standard. We're talking about gold and the gold standard. To stabilize the deteriorating economic conditions, back in the day when Richard Nixon was the president, he announces price and wage controls, and he takes the U.S. dollar off the gold standard on August the 15th, 1971. That was in America. Some of you remember when he did that. For the first time in history, formal links between the major world currencies and real commodities were severed. My friend, hyperinflation is coming. You think it's bad now. I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but the economy is going to get worse. You can mark my words on it. Whoever dreamed? Man, I remember a few days ago, man, people were excited. Said, "Oh, Pastor, you got to get down to the station because they just lowered the price of gas to $3.99." Whoever thought that you would think $4 a gallon was cheap? Back up to $4.15, $4.18, $4.11, $4 something. Whoever dreamed we'd pay that much for a gallon of gas? Whoever dreamed that you'd be paying the prices that you're paying right now at the grocery store? Whoever dreamed you'd pay that much for groceries? Would have never thought about it a few months ago. Hyperinflation is coming. The world's getting ready to, I believe, get set up for the one world money system. Jesus is about ready to come back. See, how does Israel tie into all that? Hang on with me just a little bit and I'll get there. How Israel ties into all of this. The kingdom of God is not bankrupt. Thank God for that. Hallelujah. I was talking with someone last week and they told me, said, "Well, I'm working at putting some financial statements together. I've got to get my financials over here. I want to put some the financial statements together." How do you know heaven has a financial statement? Amen. You ever thought about it that way? How many like your financial statement to improve a little bit? How many like a few more zeros on yours in the bank? Would you like your financial statement to improve a little bit? Sure. Is everybody still with me? Yeah. Look at heaven's financial statement. You know heaven has a financial statement? Listen to heaven's financial statement. Indeed, heaven and the highest heavens belong to the Lord your God. Also the earth with all that's in it. Thank God. Listen to this. For every beast of the forest is mine. The cattle on 1,000 hills, they're all mine. Friend, heaven's not broke today. Amen. Look at heaven's financial statement. I know and I'm acquainted with all the birds of the mountains. The wild animals of the field are mine.